Yes, ma'am. We are live on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Good afternoon, participants. Welcome to the live session of the course, An Introduction to Qualitative Research Method. Our instructor, Dr. Rashmi Choudhuri ma'am, is here with us. Kindly feel free to join in and clear all your doubts. We have received few queries via Google form. Ma'am will attend to those questions first. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, students. Hope I am audible to all of you. But the students are not visible to me.
Yeah, actually, students are yet to join, ma'am. Since it is a recorded session, they may watch the event later on, ma'am. So,
This is recorded.
yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
I had not known that. I thought it's only a live session.
Yeah, live session, but we are streaming it on YouTube and where it will get recorded, ma'am.
So shall I start answering?
Yes, ma'am. You can start, ma'am.
Okay. I thought the students will be there. I will be
Yeah, we invited the
virtually.
students. Since it's a weekday, we don't know, ma'am, whether.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So one question was by Ramya K. And another question was by Tanushree Pandey. These are related questions, similar question. Ramya K's question was in qualitative analysis, how do we make sure that interpretation does not become biased? And Tanushree Pandit has also asked a similar question, more or less saying, what strategies can researchers use to improve the credibility of qualitative research findings? And the next question is, how is validation in qualitative research different from reliability and validity in quantitative research? This I will answer later. First is, in qualitative analysis, how do we make sure that interpretation does not become biased, and what strategies can we use to improve the credibility of qualitative research? There are certain strategies in qualitative research which we employ, which we apply so that the research is credible and authentic and for its validation. These strategies are, first one is triangulation. Triangulation means using multiple data sources and multiple methods or perspectives to study any object of study, any phenomenon in qualitative research. And the main aim is to cross-verify the information so that biasness is reduced. Any biasness, personal biasness of the researcher is reduced. Now, I have told two things, using multiple data sources. So these multiple data sources can be one person, the participant, person who is related to participant if we are studying student participants. Then whatever the student has to say or experienced in school or classroom, then we will have his perspective, her perspective. Another source will be the teacher who is there in the school, or the administrator, the principal or headmaster, he will be another source. There can be other sources as well, like the students' files, students' records, their academic records, their attendance sheet. These can be other objects of study. So to verify if the student who is always regular, he is having problems or he is having some different kind of experience from others. So it can be sources. Different people can be the source of data. There can be different records, grade cards, and other peer group of that student can also be another source. Different methods. What are the different methods? Different methods can be interview with the student. It can be focus group interview also. It can be interview of the teachers. It can be interview of the peer group, any one peer who are related to the academic experiences of the participant students. Similarly, we can, if need be, we can also question or interview the parents of the students. So in this way, these are multiple sources, and multiple method is interview is one method. Another method can be observation. Whatever the student has stated or narrated or he has expressed in interview, It can be verified by observing the students in the school situation, in the classroom situation, in different settings. So verify whatever was said is matches with what the it is actually going on in the real situation. So in this way, we cross verify the information so that any kind of biasness which is held by the researcher himself or herself can be minimized. Similarly, we can take perspectives also. The student may having showing one perspective, different students will show the perspectives also. So we can have multiple data sources, multiple methods, and multiple perspectives. This is triangulation. Triangulation, does not mean only three things. It can be multiple sources of data, multiple methods, and multiple perspectives of the people being studied. Next strategy is member checking. If you have interviewed students, then you make when you go for transcription, you transcribe and you develop certain things. So after transcribing, you go again back to the participants whom you have interviewed, so that you can determine the accuracy of the qualitative findings. So whatever specific observations were there, whatever you have learned from the interview, or the specific descriptions you have written, which was gathered from the interview, you go and again check with the participants. You go back to the participants to so that you can determine whether the information which you have transcribed, which you have noted down, which you have interpreted is accurate. So you do member checking. When the member is satisfied, member means here the participants who are being interviewed. So if you go and tell them that I have noted down this about what you have expressed in your interview, you have to just tell me whether you go by it or there is something extra interpretation, or it is something which is something is missing, or something is written here which is not your point of view, which you did not want to express. So the participants will tell you that this portion is correct, this portion is not correctly presented. I meant to say that I wanted to express this, and this has been misconstrued. So these participants will let the researcher know. In this way, he can improve. So in this way, we can see that the biasness of the researcher is reduced. Third is peer debriefing. When you generate themes from qualitative researches, when you generate themes, then you take it to your some peers, your fellow researchers, another workers, another students whom you are staying with. They may not be very much engaged directly with your research work, but you let them expose your work to them, and you say that this is where the interview is conducted, these are the themes, from their statements I've developed these themes. Do you agree with these things, or do you think that I am doing it in my own way, it does not agree with what the students say? So the peer you present it to at least 3 to 4 people, 2 to 4 people who are your peers, with whom you can interact with very freely, and they can give you time. Peers here may be also a supervisor who is ready to go through it, whatever matter you have done, and they will say that themes, yes, the themes you have generated from the words, the statements which you have taken down from the interview, yes, they match with that. These themes goes with by that. So these are 3 main strategies. Apart from this, there are audit trails also in qualitative research. In audit trail, a detailed record is kept from what were your objectives, what were your process of research, process of data collection, why did you use that data collection method, why did you use interview, why did you use observation, why did you go for documents, studying of documents. You have to mention that at any phase, because in qualitative research, you may revert to some other, you may switch over to some other method of data collection. So if you had started with observation, then things were not getting very clear to you. So you went for interview. So you have to mention that from observation, I switched on to interview for this purpose. From if you have started with interview, we can say that I switched on to observation for this. This was the reason. So you keep a detailed account of what you did till you completed the research. This allows for transparency and traceability. Any other researcher who wants to conduct the same research or similar kind of research, then he will be able to trace back from what you had stated. You have given a detailed account of your research procedure, methods which you have applied, or the data collection procedure, data analysis procedure. He will be able to trace on your the map, the road map which you have taken. He will be able to go back to that, and he may see that whatever was said was transparent and it is traceable. So these are the ways of you can make interpretation non-biased. Reflexivity is another important strategy. It gives emphasis on self-awareness. The researcher should be aware about his own assumptions, own attitudes, own thoughts, own beliefs about the people he is going to study, the participants, or the context he is going to. If he is able to recognize, understand his own feelings, own attitudes, own thoughts, own beliefs about that, then he will be able to bracket it. He will be able to keep it away and not allow it to contaminate his observations. So if a researcher is of a different sex, like if a male teacher or male person is observing females, then he may have if he is not got that feminist perspective, then he may see it from differently. If it is a person from age difference, different age group with different political ideologies, they will look at things from their own lens. They will have their own lens to observe things and interpret in their own way. So the researcher should be able to know and understand what are his leanings, whatever his background. A person who is from urban area and he is going and visiting and participants from the rural area, so he may be having some biases, some own beliefs, some thoughts, some attitude, which may be going against which may corrupt or dilute the data which is being collected. So reflexibility is also about not self. The researcher should be able to ponder upon what the participant thinks of the researcher, why does he think about the researcher in a particular way, and what things have made him to think in that way. So this also he should be aware of. He should take note of this, that the participant sees him in a friendly way, that he is a friend, he is not, or he may participant is seeing him as an intruder and outside person, and they may not be revealing more than what they should have revealed. So these things are researchers should know. Another thing is about when he's writing the report, he should know who will be the readers of that report. What will they make out of that interpretations and the findings? What will they think about the researcher being done? So these things should be there in the mind of the researcher so that he can address all the issues when he's collecting data, when he's analyzing it, and when he is writing the report. So self-reflexibility is another important thing. If any biasness creeps into the research work at any stage, that researcher will be alert. He will be conscious of it, and he will try to eschew that. He will try to do away with that, his own beliefs, thoughts, and perspectives which he has in his mind. So he should always be aware about his own notions, about his own biasness, if he has any. So these are certain ways in which a researcher can ensure that the qualitative research is a credible one, and that the interpretation of the any qualitative interpretation is not biased. Now, the second question which I would like to take is, how is validation in qualitative research different from reliability and validity in quantitative research? The first important difference is, in qualitative research, the researcher himself is the instrument, because whatever is being observed, whatever is seen, whatever he is giving importance to, it is anything, it goes through the researcher. Whatever he is uh, acquiring from the people, the processing is going on in the mind of the researcher. How he is looking, how he is thinking about it, how he is interpreting. So here researcher is the instrument. There is no other, we can say, he is the most important instrument, which he is also the person who is doing research, and he himself is the instrument, the medium through which the data is being seen, collected, thought about, believed, and then that is being processed, and then it is working in the minds, in the cognitive domain, his domain, and it is the emotions which may color the data which he is collecting. So he is himself the instrument. So he should be very careful in qualitative research. Whereas in the quantitative research, there are statistical methods, statistical procedures, which will take care of any biasness or any inaccuracies which may creep into the researches. When we use statistical analysis, and if the data is collected in qualitative methods, data is collected in such methods that there is no biasness, there is no scope of biasness, because they are collected randomly. There are sampling techniques which ensure this, that data does not become biased. It is not express the view of the researcher only. So randomness is there. There are many ways. There are simple random sampling, cluster sampling, and which are typically used, multi-stage random sampling, stratified sampling. So this probability sampling techniques which are used, which they are able to ensure that the data which are collected are representative data. Here in qualitative research, we are not concerned with generalization and representative data, but we are concerned with representing the voices of, or seeing, observing some people, some participants in their own settings. So there are non-probability sampling techniques there. So in those non-probability sampling techniques, it helps us to know about the specific issues which we are studying about, and we can use many ways. It can be purposive sampling. Within purposive sampling is can be different types of purposive samplings are also there, which ensures that the typical and the peculiar whatever the participants are being observed, it can be noted down, it can be observed, it can be recorded. So here in non-probability sampling techniques, we have to be very conscious, and here again, all these steps of qualitative research we have used, we have to be using that. We have talked about triangulation, we have talked about reflexivity, we have talked about orbit trails. At every step, we have to be we have to ensure that our biasness and our thoughts, our background, our perspectives have not colored the data. Whereas in quantitative analysis, when you process the data through statistical processors, that is eliminated. And since the data in large numbers, and you do statistical analysis, there are various reliability, like reliability in quantitative study, for reliability, there are various. You do reliability for tools. You check the reliability of proofs. There can be test, retest reliability. So by test, you take test once and then after a few days, you again repeat the test. So there can be test with test reliability. There can be expert validation by which you can confirm, you can be sure that whatever you meant to, the variable you meant to study is the items which you have developed are measuring that. So you go for content validity also. So in this way, there can be concurrent validity. There are various ways of validity and various ways of conducting reliability studies. So in quantitative research, we have that position, but in the qualitative researches, the researcher does not have access to such kind of methods which are used in quantitative, and he has to be very cautious himself because he is answerable. That the data and the findings which are there, they are representing the reality which he is taking credit of. So they are real pictures. They are not some concocted stories. They are not some his own feelings and thoughts which have crept into this his findings. So here validation is quite different, and I've told you there are validation procedures which are being employed in the qualitative research. One more question is that in narrative research, how do we make sure that the stories collected, this is of Arvind, question is from Arvind. In narrative research, how do we make sure that the stories collected are authentic and reliable? Now for this, you try to write a coherent story, and this coherent story is not only written by researcher alone. The researcher, he collaborates with the person whose story he is being writing. So he goes and talks to him, works with him, that with the participant whose story he is being writing down. So individuals' personal and social experiences are also mentioned with the collaboration. He is doing, he's working with the person whose story is being narrated, whose story is being studied. So this gives a validation. It proves that the data or the story which has been written is accurate. The story which has been said by the individual, it is the same story which is written in the narrative research or narrative inquiry. So in this narrative research, we have to do 3D inquiry so that we can place the story in time, the past and the present and the future. So it will give credibility that the past also affects the present, and the participant or the person whose story is being, his own aims, his own ambitions may also affect the present, what he is doing now. It should be also the sociality dimension has also to be looked into. The personal, it includes two things: the personal feelings, hopes and aspirations and morality and ideals and values of the person who is being studied, and also the social and cultural context, the outer world, where the experiences of this person whose story is being were generated. Where did he experience this? What was the context? What was the background? So in this way, this sociality dimension has to be also taken. If I had given an example in my lecture that if there is a disabled student and he is placed in an inclusive classroom, so his context is the inclusive school. So his experiences of inclusive school are important to be what his personal feelings. There are two things: his personal feelings, his experiences, his hopes, his moral, his ideologies, and whatever he felt, his emotions in being in the classroom, and also the social dimension. So in sociality, it also includes his interactions with the peer group, interactions with the teachers, how do the peer group have attitude towards him. All these things are the sociality dimension. And thirdly, the place dimension. So the 3-dimension inquiry, place is also important. You have to very clearly mention the context and the physical environment. And the physical environment may include also the geographical context, the environment, everything, the cultural context, everything it can be mentioned there. So this ensures that whatever narrative story has been done, it is it gives account of the time dimension, the temporality dimension, the sociality, and the context. And when you take this story, when you prepare this story, and you are constantly, continuously in touch with the person with whom we are, whose story you are trying to study, whose story you are going to build up. So you continuously in touch with him. You're not one time interview and go and write down. You are always in touch with the person, and with him you share that I have understood this from your study. This was the context. This was the situation. This was your feeling. This was your emotion. I have drawn this from your interaction with you. So does it match what I have said and what you intended to say? Does it match? So in this way, we can ensure that the stories are authentic and reliable. Authenticity and reliability here is from the whatever is being projected as someone's story or life history, then that person should ratify that, yes, this is correct. This is what I meant to say. This is what I experienced. So he has to collaborate with the person who is being studied, who is the hero of the story or whatever. He has to be touching with him and share whatever he is writing down. So this will ensure that the accuracy of the story is maintained. One more question is from Apurva. It is related to ethnography. What makes ethnography distinct from other qualitative methods? First of all, ethnography is, if we go by literal terms, ethnos means people, a group of persons. And when we try to describe and write about it, and culture is very central to ethnography research. When you are trying to, when people, one person's account, one person's ways of life, one person's activities do not make culture. If we have to study culture, then group of people should be staying together for a long period of time, interacting with each other, and in this way culture evolves. For a culture to evolve in a classroom or in a school, there should be when new students come to a classroom, new admissions are there, then you cannot immediately study culture. How they are interacting, what are their modes of communication, what they are feeling, what are their how they are participating in the classroom activities, what are their aspirations, their attitudes, their beliefs, their thoughts, their customs, because the youth, they have very different types of, we can say, practices which are not seen by the elderlies. So you have to study that. If you want to study the culture, then soon they get into school or get admission or in college, you cannot make out of the culture. Some time has to elapse, and then you can only study culture. As culture includes many things. It's a very, we can say, broad, we can very term, which includes our languages, our habits, our food habits, our dressing style, the way we communicate, the way we interact, the positions which our members have holding in the group. All these are taken into account. Also our ideas, our ideals, our moral values, our aspiration, which all is included in culture. So our practices, our any kind of, we can say, traditions which we follow, all these are included in culture. So the question is, how is it different from qualitative method? When you are doing qualitative researches, particular, then you are other qualitative research like phenomena. In phenomenological research, you study a phenomenon. In a case study, you study a particular case, a person, any group of individuals, but you are not studying their culture. Here, when you are studying this ethnographic research, what it makes it different from other qualitative research is the socio-cultural interpretation. Methods may be the same in all qualitative research. The methods may be the same, like the interview, the observation, the documentary analysis. These may be similar type of things. But what makes difference? The key point here is, it's very important that your interpretation in ethnographic research is morely focused on socio-cultural. So in this ethnographic research, when you're talking, when you are doing a research of a classroom in tribal area, then there you will study what are the cultures which the students of tribal areas they are bringing into the classroom, how they are learning, how they are in their culture, how parents uh, 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 bring up their children, what value they do give to education, what are their educational practices, how much concerned they are about the school attendance about their child, or do they feel that they can educate them better in their own ways, in their own cultural practices by informal means. So you have to take into account all those cultural issues, cultural things which are there. Our research can be only complete when ethnographic research, when the cultural aspects are taken account of, socio-cultural issues. When we are talking of culture, it also includes the child rearing practices, the educational practices. It also includes the agricultural practices. The agricultural practices in the tribal areas may be still the ones which their forefathers had been using. They may be having certain beliefs about the plants. They may having certain they know more of the values of plants and the animals which in the tribal areas, and they think them to be auspicious. Whereas in urban areas, people may look at the plants and trees, animals, and mere things which are there for only they are objects, they can be used, only utility values there. But for them, they are things of reference. So in this way, when you are studying ethnographic research, you have to bring about some cultural aspect into your study. You may focus on educational practices in a ethnographic research, which is being done in a tribal area, or in other rural areas, or it can be not only tribal areas. The culture of an organization can also be studied. Culture of any institution can also be studied. So when we are talking about ethnography research nowadays, it is also looking at how modernization has changed the lifestyle of people, how it has changed the people's communication patterns. It is also included. How it has affected the interactions. How is it affected the daily lives of the people, which have been something different. So nowadays, technology has been most used, and day by day, we are seeing how classroom used to be usual. Classroom interaction used to be face-to-face interaction, teacher teaching the students and asking questions, and students, they are directly face-to-face each other. And after COVID-19, we see how things had changed. Now virtual classrooms came into existence and mobile was very used. So these are how our communication patterns have changed. So these things have to be, if you want to study how this has changed our interaction patterns, our communication patterns, our learning style, how learning has been affected, how teaching learning modes have changed. So all these things are also parent-child relationship. Nowadays, we see that every member of the family is having mobile in hand. So this mobile culture has we see has affected the uh, closeness in the family. Even at the dining table, everyone sitting with their mobile and they're not enjoying the dinner being served, but they are busy and engrossed in the chatting and messages, reading messages, and other things. So, this has led to more of this the we can say the intense relationship, the close relationship, the bonding in the family members, it has been affected. So we cannot say it's or cannot generalize, but really it does has some. Similarly, our entertainment, the way we used to entertain ourselves in yesteryears, it has quite changed. There are many platforms for entertainment now, and everyone I remember in my childhood days we used to observe TV serials and go for cinema all together. Now every individual person is going for according to his own interest. He is having a internet connection, he is having the platforms, and someone is busy with cartoons, someone is watching movies, some adventurous, some mysteries, some every individual is in solitary manner is going for entertainment. So the ways are the way we entertain our friends, our family members, our guests, it has also changed. The way we are shopping now, there is online shopping is the case. So culture has changed. So these we can say the ways of life of people, whether it is in the classroom, whether it is the family, in the family, agricultural practices, whether it is in the business area, all things are all these things, the way we think of the things, the way the values, what we give value to, whom we admire, who are our ideals, what our belief system, what our standards, what is correct, desirable, and what is undesirable. All these things, they are part of culture. So what does the modern people, modern era people, this internet age people, what do they value? What are their standards? What is to be desired and what is undesirable? So all these things have to be taken into account. So when you're doing ethnographic research, the socio-cultural aspect has to be projected. It has to be highlighted. And another part of the same from Apurva's question is how important is the researcher's role as a participant observer in ethnography? It is very crucial, very important. Ethnography research can be complete with participant observation. That is the primary method of data collection, wherein face-to-face interaction with the participants is necessary. Unless that is done, you will not be able to take emic perspective. Emic perspective means the participant's perspective. If you are talking about the tribal people, their perspective, why they are doing this, why they are doing this, what should they do? So you should know that whatever the practices, they may seem bizarre to a person who is from far away place. A European who is going to a tribe in South Africa, we find their practices very bizarre, uh, very we can say strange practices. But if he wants to have their perspective, then he has to interview them, talk to them, know them, observe them. Then only you will be able to give their perspective. What are those practices? Why they are being practiced? Why they are doing such activities? Why they are engaging in such behaviors? What does this behavior mean? What does this indicate? So all these things, if a researcher wants to project it clearly, he has to have the emic perspective also. So for having emic perspective means the insider's perspective, the participant's perspective. He has to be there. He has to observe being with them. He has to share the activities with them. He has to engage in activities appropriately to the situation. He has to observe the people in their settings, in their activities, and also he has to observe the physical aspects of the situation. He has to have a wide angle lens. The participant observation, the participant's observation is important because to have a heightened sense of awareness. If a researcher has to have a sense of awareness, then he should take a wide angle lens so that he is able to understand the activities, the beliefs, the practices which are going on in that particular group being studied. He will be able to understand them better. And without this emic perspective cannot. From this emic perspective, the researcher has to also shift to ethic perspective. That is the social scientist view, the objective perspective. So he has from the emic perspective, he builds up the ideas, the things, whatever is going on, why it is done, what activities are there, what is the justification for this, and then he has to put together in an objective manner, in a rational manner, in logical manner. So ethic perspective goes into there. He has to use social scientific terms so that he can explain to others that this was the thing, this was the thing, this was the thing. The terms which are being used in social scientist, he will write in his report. The researcher, while doing participant observation, he should be cautious that he does not go native. That means he does not completely is colored by the perspectives of the insiders. It does not, then that biasness may creep in. Then he is putting the things in the words of the participants. He has to also be, he may not be able to put things in a very objective manner. So this objectivity will be curtailed. So emic perspective and ethic perspective is important. So the participant, this cannot be done until the researcher goes there, he observes directly the people, the context, their cultural, socio-cultural practices, the engagement. He should engage with the people. Unless he does that, he keeps up himself away, aloof, then he will not be able to catch the nuances, the intricacies which are happening over there. He will not be able to know the reasons for those activities. Like when we greet people by joining hands. But in Western countries, they have another way of greeting people. They shake hands. But in our culture, shaking hands with unknown people is something like they will be hesitant to shake hands. And in our culture, women shaking hands with men in traditional societies, it is not much accepted unless we have gone very, we have been urbanized and we have become very. So it may look our joining hands and saying the palms together and saying namaste may be very seems strange to outsiders from Europe and other countries and American countries. But for us, this is our own way and this is the best way of greeting. So until and unless you go and mingle with the people and you observe them directly, this ethnographic research will not be authentic, it will not be complete. So I think I've taken all the questions. Are any questions missing?
Yes, ma'am, you have answered all the queries raised by the students in a very elaborative manner with a lot of examples. So one student joined here directly on Zoom. His
Has
name,
anyone joined?
yes, ma'am. One phone number is given, like Redmi model name is there. Let me just ask him. So do you have any doubts? The one who joined by the name Redmi 9A. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah. Please unmute yourself and ask your doubt.
Ask your doubt now. Actually, Renu is one of my research scholar who is going through this. So she has no doubt. Is it? Huh?
No, ma'am. One learner is here. So do you have any doubts?
Do you have any doubts, Renu?
No, ma'am. Actually, I've gone through your classes, and first time I done the class, and I am also an aspirant of PhD. So I very much enjoyed your course, and I have your notes on the screen.
Glad to know that.
I
Was
have
it
written.
understandable to you, comprehensible? Because I had used medium of it was Hindi, but my PPTs were in English. So did you benefit from that?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, I can speak and I understand in English and Hindi also. So it was not the language bar. Thank you, ma'am. As per myself, as your classes I have done, so I enjoyed fully, and I also perceived the concept of the qualitative research aptitude. Qualitative research methods.
Okay.
So
May I know your good name and you belong to which place?
Actually, I'm from West Bengal. मैं कोलकाता से हूँ. West Bengal, पश्चिम बंगाल का कोलकाता से हूँ.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं एक्चुअली एक्सपीरियंस हूँ. मैं मतलब यूनिवर्सिटी जाके मैं 6 मंथ का कोर्स नहीं कर पाऊंगा. तो मैं सोचा कि मैं आपका जो क्लास हो रहा था, तो मैं उसका लाभ उठाने के लिए मैंने किया, और उसके मुझे ज्ञान भी मिल गया. तो मैं
Because I wanted this feedback from participants. Was it helpful to comprehend qualitative research or not? I made my effort. I put all my effort. I don't know, but this is only one of you coming. And Murli ji, I would like to have some feedback from students also.
Definitely, ma'am.
Because as teacher, we are always eager to know the feedback so that we can improve also.
Yes, ma'am. We are collecting weekly feedbacks with our learners. We will compile it and then we will share it with you as soon as possible, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So that wherever there is lacuna and anything, so gap is there, we'll try to cover it up.
Definitely, ma'am. Since there are no more queries, can we wind up the session now, ma'am?
I think yes, we can. Yeah. If there are no more queries, I think I've taken all the questions.
Yes, ma'am. You have answered everything, ma'am. So thank you very much, ma'am, for this live session. It was very informative and helpful. And we hope our learners watch the recorded session and benefit from it. We are closing now, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Banaras University, for conducting such a precious course, and it is also very precious for me as an aspirant for PhD in public administration. But it gave me the clear concept about qualitative research. I cannot afford 6 months because I'm a working professional. So the course helped me. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, और करने को भी मजा निकला, और मुझे ज्ञान भी मिला है जिसका मुझे खोज है. इस उम्र में 44 ईयर्स एज है मेरा. मैं एक यूनिवर्सिटी में पेंशन सेल में काम करता हूँ, और मुझे बहुत पढ़ने का शौक है. तो इस शौक को पूरी करने के लिए मैं PhD करने के लिए बहुत सारे यूनिवर्सिटी में गए हैं. तो वहाँ पे 6 महीने कर रहने के लिए जो सिस्टम है, मैं रह नहीं पाऊंगा. तो अचानक मैंने बुक में देखा कि मैम का, रश्मा मैम का जो कोर्स हो रहा है, तो मैंने संग मैंने उस पर ज्वाइन भी कर लिया, इनरोल भी कर लिया. एग्जाम डेट है 24 अक्टूबर को, तो मैं पूरी तरह से प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ. तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. थैंक यू रेशमा मैम, थैंक यू बनारस यूनिवर्सिटी, एंड थैंक यू NPT. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone. Thank you. Yes, yeah, we are closing now. Thank you.